Hi guys. Well. Oh, Gypsy Rose's family reunion went right off the rails. And my God, there's so much being talked about in regards to this little reunion and some of the little fiascos that were happening down there. And before we get into the rest of it, I want to talk about this fake kayaking situation that everyone's talking about. You know, some people are upset that she staged kayaking. Some people are saying, oh, well, like, I don't really care because other influencers will stage stuff all the time. Whether or not she kayaked for, 2.5 minutes or 2.5 hours, I really don't care. She took a photo op. Maybe it was her being fake. Like, yeah, she's fake. Most influencers are fake. They are staging photos so that they get attention on social media. So the fake kayaking thing is the least of my kind of takeaways from this whole thing. What I want to talk about is her expecting privacy. I'm going to read the statement that she put out on her socials regarding people invading their privacy and making allegations that people were taking photos of children, which is wild. Before I read the statement, keep in mind, here, I'll set the scene for you guys. They are doing a family reunion at a public park that is open, keyword, to the public. So this was not some kind of reserved setting where people were coming into a space where they were not allowed to be in order to gain access or take photos of her. This was literally just like a lot of other families do. I'm sure some of y'all might have attended a family reunion or some kind of gathering outside at a public park this summer, because there's constantly events happening like this, whether it's a birthday party, I've seen freaking baby showers and all kinds of stuff happening at outdoor parks. You have your little cabana or your gazebo, and people are gathered and they're having a cookout or opening presents, having cake, cupcakes. It's a public park, okay? You're not special. She put out a statement that said, "This last weekend was the Blanchard family reunion. It was wonderful to meet everyone and learn about our family history. We spent the weekend at the lake where everyone was having fun and enjoying our time together. However, our reunion was constantly being interrupted and invaded by people wanting to invade our space and privacy, circling our campsite with cameras and phones who want to take selfies or photo ops. As much as I appreciate the support of the locals, I only ask to keep in mind that we have extended family members who do not wish to be part of the media world, some of them being minors. I would ask for people to be more conscious and considerate when approaching or interacting with me in public, especially in such situations surrounding family events. Thank you for your time." So there's a lot to unpack with that, but I want to revert to what I was just saying. This was a public park. This was a public campground, park, gathering space, lake, whatever you want to call it. It was open to the public. This was not something that was privately reserved for Gypsy and her family. You wanted to be an influencer. Hate to say it, but if you're at a public park and you're an influencer, even if you are with your family, people are still going to recognize you. You made the choice to become a public figure. You call yourself an influencer. You've plastered your face all over social media, constantly shoving your image and all the BS that you've been doing down our throats. And now you're mad. Cry me a river somewhere else. Now, before I read some of the comments and the back and forth that she was having in her on her social media, I would like to just make it very clear that I am not being too hard on Gypsy in this situation. Some people were saying I was too hard on her for reheating her pasta and calling it cooking. I'm talking about Gypsy specifically. This is not about you. This is not about me. This is about Gypsy and who she is, who she has shown us to be time after time. That is why the criticism is on a video that is titled Gypsy Rose da-da-da. Gypsy Rose Blanchard da-da-da. This is about Gypsy Rose. It's not about me. It's not about you. I would not be making this video if this was a setting where she had reserved a private space. Let's just say the family reunion was at a restaurant and they had reserved a private dining area where there were followers going up to the door and snapping photos of her in a private room. I would completely disagree with that, and I would not be making this video. In fact, if I did make the video, I would be siding with her for placing boundaries out there. This was not a private setting. First comment, someone said, public is public. Gypsy decided to respond and said, and respect is respect, and children should not be subjected to strangers taking pictures of them because they are related to me. It's not okay. So, number one, I haven't seen a single photo of this weekend that included children. I think, in my opinion, I think this is being fabricated in order to make it sound more serious than it really was. And again, trying to make herself look like, oh, people are mistreating me. They were taking photos of children in my family. I haven't seen any of that. If y'all have, correct me down below. But people are interested in Gypsy, and she should be lucky that people wanted to take photos instead of approaching her and telling her how they really feel. You should be welcoming the positivity instead of telling people that they're allegedly taking photos of children. You asked for this, and you, in the shoes that you're standing in, you should be welcoming anybody that wants to have a positive interaction with you. And imagine the person who unalived her mother and went on to be unfaithful and throw her entire marriage in the dumpster to talk about respect. She wants to talk about respect? Please. Someone else said you can't expect privacy in a public park. She responded and said people could have more common sense too. Common sense to me is being in a public park and seeing someone that's recognizable and maybe asking for a photo with them because you are in a public park. To me, that is common sense. The one who's lacking common sense here and all around street smarts is Gypsy Rose. She is expecting privacy in a public park and privacy when she is a public figure, and she begged to be a public figure. And someone else joined in and said, it's still a private family function. Gypsy responded and said, exactly, it would be different if it was only me, but that happened because I was simply there. It was the wrong time, wrong place situation. But what's the wrong place? Again, you were in a public park. This was not something that you had, cornered off where it was supposed to be literally a private event. What do you not understand about that? Someone else said, in a public setting. And someone else also said, but you're an influencer, right? Gypsy responded and said, but my family isn't, nor is there underage children who these strangers were taking pictures of. People need to respect boundaries of others. It's common courtesy. So obviously, not very well written response. But again, we're going back to the children thing. If people are just running up on you and trying to take photos of your children, that is inappropriate. But in my opinion, this is simply being added in as a way to make it seem more serious than it actually was. I think that people are morbidly curious with Gypsy and wanting to get a photo of her. And I think that she's just throwing this in there because the girl's a pathological liar and always wants to make things seem like they're unfair to her. and the people that are with her. And someone made a good point and said, if you know what's going to happen, why go then? And Gypsy said, because I'm family. So if you're family and you're making all this money and you know that you're recognized, then why don't you say, you know what, guys, I know that we had this venue picked out, but I really want to come and I want to enjoy my time. So why don't we relocate it to a new venue where we can actually have privacy? And I know that people are not going to be running up with cameras. She has known for months that people were approaching her, and she was recognizable. And she's continued to accept that fame and admiration and attention while it suited her. But now you want to sit your ass in a public park and ask for privacy. So that whole thing, completely ridiculous to me. And I have yet to see proof that anyone was trying to take photos of children. I saw people wanting to take photos of Gypsy, like this one right here. Look at the Facetune Instagram versus reality. You know, she's been living in a fantasy world for a very long time, and it's very obvious that she has yet to grow out of that. And it's all tricking people, fooling people, and seeing how many she can say gotcha to along the way. The last thing I want to say is that there was a clip going around TikTok that I came across, and her number one defender, Brie, totally went off the rails. She was yelling on live stream. She was saying how people are obsessed, and even if she was on rugs, it's none of their business, and who cares if she's live streaming for 16 hours a day, other people do it, and blah, 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 blah. She really made a great case as to why people call her crazy. Like, you're literally spending hours and hours and hours and hours defending somebody that used an autistic man to unalive her mother.
Bitch, let me tell you something, sweetheart. The only people I talk about are the people that have constantly bullied me, attacked me, and harassed me. Fuck you and what you got to say. I can talk about whoever the fuck I want.
Brave,
and for the
brave,
people,
brave.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. For the love of God, please stop doing lives for 16 hours. Why, Ryan, why do you care if I do lives for however long I do? You see how obsessed she is? You're making people think you're on rugs. I do not. How is that hurting you? What if I was? How is that hurting you? You sound just as disgusting as them for even saying that. I'm never going to assume someone's on whatever just because they're on lives.
To make you mad.
I'm not mad, y'all. I'm pumped up right now because I'm giving it to her. Finally, what she been wanting. That's what she done with it. I'm done with it. I'm so sick of it. She wants to talk about, there's people who do battles for 24 hours straight. Go accuse them of being on rugs. That's disgusting. You should never accuse anyone because it's none of your business. Even if I was, it's none of your business and it's not hurting any of you. So why do you care? You see, that maybe that's you know, that is the problem. You care about what people think. I don't. So don't tell me what I need to do. I've heard it from dozens of people. I do not give a shit. That's the difference between me and you, Ryan. You're making people, I've already seen that long before I said that tonight. Who cares? It doesn't condone the state. She went on live for damn near a day. So that justifies, look, y'all, you see how this is what she does. She excuses herself and justifies everything. She literally said, about being, and for the love of God, please stop doing
ever her fault, ever.
Going live for 16 hours. You're making people think you're on rugs. I've heard you do horrible things to people as much as you may blame, but what you, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all I already showed y'all the horrible things. The horrible things I've done to people is make them into animals for people, and they weren't. Yeah, I'm not even gonna show y'all Ryan's because, oh my gosh, I might go and cry about it. And
that is what went down with the Blanchard family reunion. The fake kayaking thing, I don't care. I really don't care. To me, it's a much bigger issue of the entitlement coming off of Gypsy. Expecting to sit in a literally a public area and want privacy, but then want to be an influencer and want people to support her, but only when it's on her terms. And even then, like, they were not invading her privacy because it was at a public park. What a shit show. But we're here to talk about it as always, so I'll let y'all go for now. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment, and if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.